Good morning, everybody. My name is Adolfinian Bildona, and I will take position as leader of opposition in this motion. The motion is this House would ban all the production and consumption of meat. Okay, before I give my argument, I will start with my rebuttals from the government side argument. Okay, first, the first argument is why consumption meat is immoral, right? They say the government side keeps saying that animals were killed before they get a choice to live their life, as if animals actually have consciousness to live their life. Animal lives their life based on their instinct. And even some of animals have instinct to kill another animal to survive. Secondly, animals have a short lifespan. We have to remember that animals did not have the lifespan just like humans. They have a more shorter lifespan. So with how humans advance with their gadgets, buildings, and lifestyle, it's impossible to keep animals alive until they die because of natural death. We are not gonna have enough land to bury those animal corpses. And then, in the first argument, they keep talking about how slaughterhouse torture animals by killing them inhumanly. But in reality, there's a lot of countries that actually made those laws about slaughtering animals as morally as possible. So if there's a company who disobey those laws, they will get sued. And then we're gonna come to the government's second argument. First, they talk about full plant-based food consumption. If we decide to change our life to a full plant-based consumption, it can also harm our body because we still lack of nutrients that we get from the meat, because it can cause a lack of iron, hormone disruption, low energy, and even weight problems. And then the second one, they talk about environment impact. The government said that it will take a lot of land portion for the farmhouse, so on and so forth. But then what happened if we did not build those places that we were specially built for the animals? We can't just let those animals walk around, swarming around freely in the city. And then they also, in their second argument, they also talk about religion impact. They talk about that in their religion, human is not, forbid to hurt another creature and stuff. And they said that we better start using plant and not use animals as sacrifices. But actually, religion actually using animals for sacrifices. And even those religions giving us a humanistic procedure when we want to slaughter those animals. For example, in Muslim, when you want to kill a cow, you have to close its eyes and make sure the knife that you use to cut its throat are very sharp. Okay, with this, my rebuttal for the government side is done. Therefore, I will get into my arguments. Before I start my arguments, I will give my a status quo from the opposition side. Our status quo is that we live in a world when human is on top of the food chain. And from our side of house status quo, the slaughterhouse that these days are morally better than slaughterhouse from the past. And then the last one is from the side of our house. We have three important actors. The first one is the meat consumers in general. The second one is people who work in the slaughterhouse. And the third one is the people who have allergies to the plant-based food. Okay, there are a few questions that we need to answer, especially in our side as opposition. First, what happens if we live in a world without meat? Second, what happens if we focus our lifestyle to plant-based consumption? And then, therefore, there are a few arguments that we are going to give. The first one, there is not a lot of science study that said plant-based meat are good for your body. So if we pull back time, humans have been eating meat for a million years ago. So the human's body adapt to get used consuming meat. Why plant-based? And also, if we pay attention again, why plant-based is not popular yet? Not only because it's still expensive, but also because there's not a lot of science study that prove or said that plant-based meat is good for human body. Even though it's plant-based meat, that doesn't guarantee it's healthy. Okay, the second argument is plant-based meat is contingent to culture. The plant-based meat is still unpopular, even though plant-based meat have a similar taste with an actual meat. But some of culture still can't accept the plant-based meat because they want to experience the taste of the meat itself rather than an imitation. So even the imitation have similar taste, it still gives a different experience and feelings. For example, a Muslim people eat meat at Idul Adha, not from the slaughterhouse but from the kurban. Therefore, plant-based meat is still contingent from some cultures. And my third argument is that the second actor who work in the slaughterhouse, people who work in the slaughterhouse. In this motion, not only that the meat consumer who got disadvantaged, but also the people who work in the slaughterhouse. If we decide to ban all this production of meat, the people who work in the slaughterhouse will also lose their job. The government side did not give any clear mechanism for those people who work in the slaughterhouse. And then my last argument and the fourth argument is not every human can eat plant-based food. We have to remember that humans also have allergies. The government side did not give any mechanism for those people who suffer plant-based food allergies. If we decide to generalize plant-based meat and completely ban the consumption of meat, this can cause harm to those people with plant-based food allergy, because not only they can't eat the plant-based food, but they also lose the nutrient that they can get from when they eating meat. Okay, and then my last one is that I will give a mechanism. My mechanism is, we have two mechanisms. The first one is we are gonna ban. We are not gonna ban the slaughterhouse, but we want to make a policy that will make the slaughterhouse work more humanistic. And then the second mechanism, that we also want to make a law about meat production consumption to prevent overconsumption of the meat. That is which this mechanism actually managed to tackle down the government side arguments about health in the health impact, in the health aspect, because they said a lot of people got illness due to overconsumption of meat. So with our mechanism that making a law about meat production consumption, it can actually tackle their arguments. And therefore, us from the opposition side are very proud to oppose this motion. Thank you very much.